We have one of the strangest Odotic decks that I've seen in quite some time. We have Water Control with Morganite, and well, the OCG is not letting up on these cool, innovative ideas. Alright, to the 30% of you that have not smashed the living crap out of that subscribe button, smash it so you guys don't miss out on more Oz content. So what is going on here with, is this just like a reptile pile? Like, what are we doing here? Why are we trying some reptile shenanigans here? Well, it is, it's kind of cool, actually. I'll give him some credit. You know, Odotic has been, kind of like the go-to for a little while in terms of innovation and things out here, but, now they get access to Chaos Angel. And yes, you are allowed to make Alien Kid a tuner to make the Chaos Angel. Yeah, pretty cool, right? So we have one copy of Alien Kid, triple copies of Ash, Blossom, and Joy Spring. We have triple copies of Assault Synchron, with one copy of the good old Karuse. We have triple copies of Maxi, and then of course we have triple copies of No Yuya. We have one copy of the Night Sword Serpent, triple copies of Nunu, and then we have one Ogd Abyss. Triple copies of the Reptilian Colt, and then we have one Lamia. Two copies of Nayami with one Basky, and then we got two Called by the Grave, your one Crossout Designator, your one Serpent Strike, your triple copies of Water Lily, triple copies of Ramifications, one Reptilian Spawn, one Talents, and then of course triple Imperm. Down here in the extra you have two Agenda, one copy of Unicorn, one IP, your one copy of Zroll, and then one Soldier Chaos, one Alien Shock Frame, one Axis Code, one King, one Meluzine, one copy of Hydra, one Chaos Ruler, two copies of Chaos Angel, and one copy of good old Baron DeFleur here. Wrapping up, man, they're doing so many cool, crazy things out here. It's actually awesome. You don't understand like how happy I am to see that Chaos Angel is like stapling this deck together as a viable, I guess I can't even say really viable, as a cool pick. Next up here is Water Control. Now, if you've been watching this channel for however long, you know I'm a sucker for Water Control. Well, Morganite just gives you the ability to draw two cards. You can get two normal summons a turn, which is actually kind of cool about that, because if you open up kind of bad, and you know you need to tribute summon over like a jellyfish for the Kyroshin, you can actually, well, in fact, do that. I don't highly recommend that, but considering you're a grind deck, Morganite gives you the ability to filter for more resources so that you can further pressure your opponent into a game state that I would say that you could be able to play. Alright, so we have triple copies of the Electric Jellyfish, two copies of Little Sea Turtle, one Fenrir, one copy of the Mega Fortress Whale, triple copies of Kyroshin, two copies of the Warrior of Atlantis, triple copies of the Legendary Ocean, triple Dimensional Fissure, triple copies of Fish Sonar with your two Foolish Bro Goods, two copies of Extrav with two Pot of Prosperity, one Sea Stell 2 with two Morganite. Actually very surprised to only see two Morganite in here. We have two Evenly Matched, your two Ice Barrier, one Dark Reef, two Sea Stealth Attack, two Solemn Judgment, and two copies of There Can Only Be One. Wrapping up, well, your main deck. Then in the next deck you have one Unicorn, one Phoenix with one Cerberus, two Spawns with one Utopic Future Draco, one Volcasaurus, one Stealth Kraken with one Nightmare Shark, one Gaia Dragon, one Downer with one Zeus, one Dark Rebellion, and one copy of good old Abyssal here. Wrapping up, well, I would just say Kyroshin Control. Good stuff. Next up here, ooh, we're getting saucy here. Now, with the OCG, you really don't see a lot of like Rika Sun Avalon doing things, but our good old friend, the Gravekeeper's Engraving down here, shows up to show us that no tier elements. You're not going to get the chance to have fun today. So yeah, you're going to use the standard, you know, Sun Avalon, Sun Seed shenanigans. You're going to build the extra link, and then, you know, climb up to like Boreas, Regulus, set up those boards that give this deck a chance to play the game. So we have one copy of the Aura Mage, Jasmine, triple copies of Ash Blossom and Joy Spring. We have triple copies of Lone Fire Blossom, one copy of Mardell, one copy Maxi. We have one Rosewhip with two copies of Sunseed Shadow. We have two Sunseed Twin with two copies of Sunvine Maiden, one Regulus with triple Boreas, and then we have triple copies of Loki. Then, of course, we have two Called by the Grave, your one Crossout Designator, one Argeo System, one 1-for-1 with 2 copies of Painful Decision, 2 Sunvine Shrine with triple copies of Sowing, 1 Disc Coliseum, 1 Twin Twister in the, that's interesting, triple Unexpected Die, 2 Bravery of the Warlords, and 1 Sun Avalon Bloom. Wrapping up your main deck. Down the extra deck, we have 2 Thrashers, 2 copies of Healer, 2 Malias with 1 Link 4. Then we have triple Dryas, 2 copies of Daphne, that's interesting, 1 Begalancer, and 2 copies of Jasmine. And then we have 1 Maxi, 2 copies of Cosmic Cyclone, 2 Dark Ruler No More, 2 Engraving, triple Dimensional Barrier, 2 Evenly Matched, 2 Imperm, and 2 copies of good old Red Reboot here, wrapping up, well, something very, very interesting out of the Sun Avalon department. Next up here, you know, I'm a sucker for Valence. Anytime I get the chance to see this deck, I always want to talk about it because this is so cool. Now, this build is featuring our friends over at the Super Heavy Samurai department. Yeah, I know. It's almost like these were the best gosh darn pendulum scales that you could ever actually ask for. Not restrictive. They allow you to set up some monsters. Good stuff on Konami for actually making some very generic cards. So we have triple copies of Ash Blossom and Joy Spring, 1 Effect Veiler with 1 Fossil Dyna. We have 1 Majesty Pegasus with triple copies of Maxi, 2 copies of Nizuki. Then we have 1 copy of the Performapal Greatest Duelist, 2 copies of Scion, triple copies of Charmone. We have 2 copies of the Super Heavy Samurai Bike, 1 copy of General Coral with triple copies of the Wakashi. And then we have 2 copies of Baron, 1 Dominator Duke, and 1 Marquise, and 2 Viscount. And we have 2 Call by the Grave, 1 Crossout, 2 Pot of Prosperity, Secret Village, triple Solo Activation, and 1 Wyson, and 1 Boncho. Down in the extract, you got 1 Underworld Goddess, your 1 Trisbania with your 1 Celine, your 1 Unicorn with your 1 IP, 1 Electromite, 1 Boral Sword, 2 copies of Beyond the Pendulum, 1 Apollosa, 1 Access Code, 1 Gallant Granite, 1 Abyss Dweller, your 1 Arcus XII, 1 Grand Duke, and you got 2 Godarlas, your 1 Space Rock, 2 Raw Sphere Mode, 1 Necro Valley, triple Metaverse, triple Shadow Imprisoning Mirror, and triple copies of Solemn Strike, wrapping up, well, Valence Super Heavy Samurai. Basically, pendulum good stuff, it feels like at this point. Next up is Sky Striker. First of all, full disclaimer here, I have loved looking at Striker every week and just seeing how the OCG is trying to find ways to, well, make sure that this deck doesn't die. Now, I found very interesting that, you know, Engage still very good card. You know, we haven't put it to 3 yet, but, you know, how does this deck go? Well, looks like we're having to adjust a going second premise here. So we have triple copies of Ash Blossom and Joy Spring, 2 copies of Effect Veiler. We have triple copies of Maxi with 1 Space Rock, triple copies of Ray with 1 Rose. We have 2 Called by the Grave, 1 Rhoda with 1 Afterburners, 1 Hornet Drones with 1 Shark Cannon. We have triple Widow Anchor with 2 Multi-Roll, 1 Engage, 2 Engage, triple copies of Linkage, 2 Thrusting. Then we have triple Upstart, triple Evenly Matched, and triple copies of Imperm. Down the extra, you got 1 Zeke, triple Shizuku, 2 Kaino with 2 Kagari, triple Hayate, 1 Celine, 1 Dehark, 1 Asa, and 1 Access Code. Then you got 1 Pinkertops, 2 Droll, 2 copies of Ghost Spell, 1 Ghost Mourner, 1 Nibiru, 1 Hamp, triple Cosmic, 1 Talents, and triple copies of good old Dimensional Barrier here. Wrapping up Sky Striker. We have one last little piece of candy here for you. You know, I've been kind of keeping up the little things that these little Teller builds do. You know, this deck isn't totally obsolete in the OCG. It keeps showing up as like a little rogue pick every blue moon. You know, with Saki Tama here just being an additional normal summon for the deck. It's kind of cool. So we have triple copies of Ash Blossom and Joy Spring, 1 Effect Veiler, 2 Ghost Spells with triple copies of Maxi. We have 2 copies of Saki Tama with your triple copies of Altair. We have triple Deneb with 1 Sirius. We have 2 copies of Anukulhai, 2 Vega, 1 Altair, and triple Lyra. Then we got 2 Called by the Grave, 1 Crossout Disney, triple Droplet, 1 Rhoda, your triple Skybridge, 2 Tellarknight Constellar, 1 Talents, and 2 Imperm. Then you got 1 Ptolemaeus, 2 Caudicus, 1 Truvere, 1 of our dear friend Diamond and Deltros, and then 1 Utopic Future Draco, Rongo Reminiad, Gaga Magician, your Sky Thunder, your Badalamias, your M7, and your 2 copies of Pleiades. Wrapping up, well, another chunk of what I would say are pretty cool, little interesting deck list out of this week. A little bit more emphasis on a few things I really wanted to showcase, but what do you guys think about some of these cool decks? Please leave a comment down below, tell me what you guys think, and I'll see your beautiful faces back here later in the day, guys. Peace out. patrons. Thank you.
Thank you so much for watching. Check out these other videos.